Hey all, Mike Heck here. Um, it's really late at night for me, and I should be sleeping by now. But I wanted to share a couple things. Number one, by January 1, fingers crossed, the Mega Hypercube or Hyperactive Hypercube should be actually up and running. Um, the second thing I wanted to show you is this. Yes, it says PrinterBot. That was my first printer when I first started getting into this activity. This is the size of a standard build plate, around 9 by 9. This is my new build area. Between the holes here is where it's going to actually build. It's taken me a little bit of time, but I finally got my Marlin firmware to recognize that print bed, or that heater bed, and actually heat it up. It is a 120 volt heat bed. So I ended up wiring up a solid state transistor, well, one of these, which allows me to convert or to actually create a conduit where the 120 volt does not actually reach the heat bed unless this 12 volt signal allows it to. And what's really cool about that is that the 120 volt heat bed actually heats up fairly quickly, and as the thermistor registers higher and higher temperatures, this thing shuts off and it will turn on and off in order to allow the heat bed to heat up as needed. I've also tested the old hot end, and that can heat up to 200 degrees so far. I'm hoping it can go higher than that, but that is what I've got so far, and that allows me to at least print in PLA and PETG, which are it's the main goal of this. I might go for ABS because the PrinterBot, or I'm sorry, the Hypercube has this ability to actually be enclosed by just adding a couple sheets of clear or like plexiglass or something like that to it. It will allow me to create an actual ABS enclosure. Right now, I've got as much hardware onto the Hypercube as I can. I am waiting for a new print bed because I was looking at the thing that I cut out of the case of the computer, and realistically I would have either had to have gotten another piece of that to give it more rigidity, or it would have possibly had some issues with sagging in the middle, which is what I actually ended up with on the PrinterBot, which is why I stopped using that. So what I ended up doing is there's a company called Midwest Metals, and they allow you to order custom metal sheets. The metal sheet that I ordered is a 16-inch by 16-inch sheet of aluminum that is roughly 3 centimeters thick. So those of you that actually have something like a Wanahao Duplicator 3 or an Ender Pro or Ender 3 or Ender 5, if you actually took a digital caliper and measured the thickness of your print bed, it's about somewhere between 2 and 3 millimeters of thickness. So I'm getting what realistically would be similar to my original print bed thickness. It's going to weigh around 3 pounds. I'm a little concerned about that with the stepper motors. I'm hoping that they'll be able to take that weight and be able to move it up and down without an issue. If that becomes a problem, I may end up doing 2 stepper motors for the Z-axis, and that will hopefully be able to move the bed correctly. Aside from that, I'm currently redesigning and printing out things like a spool holder for the filament, and well, I'm printing that out. I'm not redesigning it because the design that I found is on Tech2C's site is really good. What I am going to be doing is making a modification on Tech2C's touchscreen or LCD holder so that it can accommodate the TMC 35V3 and allow me to mount that on the Hypercube. My goal is that the Bowden extruder will be on the back of the Hypercube as well as the filament spool. Pardon me. And that the Big TrueTech SKR 1.3 and the TFT 35.5 or 35 V3 will be on the front. I'm not certain where the power supply is going to go, but it's either going to be on either right or left side. I've decided that I'm going to control this thing through a Raspberry Pi through Octoprint, because Octoprint has worked extremely well in the Wanahao duplicator that I'm currently running. And again, why mess with something that works, right? So just sharing a little bit of an update. Some people have asked me, why am I building a new 3D printer when I already have two? And the answer is, again, that I can. But aside from that, the duplicator that I have has a 9-inch build volume, which is pretty cool, and it allows me to do most of my stuff. But to get into doing cosplay stuff, like the Mandalorian helmets, like a TIE fighter helmet or an X-Wing helmet that's out there, to fit my head, I really need a much larger print area. And that is the primary reason for going and building this new printer. I'm hoping that as I continue to move forward, I'll be able to get people that want items that I can actually, commission on my printers and get them out to folks so that they can do the things that they want, cosplay an X-Wing pilot or an A-Wing pilot or what have you. But that's about it for tonight. It is way too late. I should be sleeping by now, and I apologize if this is rambled. But remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk with you later.